Hey everyone, welcome back to the Dinar Update channel. If you're a fan of keeping up with global finance, international currency developments, and the big geopolitical stories that impact the world's economies, then this video is definitely for you. Today, we're going to talk about some major updates that have been shaking up the global stage. We're diving into Iran's currency collapse due to US sanctions, as well as a game-changing new cross-border payment system called TIR, which could reshape how money flows across borders. So let's get started with some major financial news from Iran. The Iranian rial has just experienced its biggest collapse in 46 years. That's right, 46 years. This historic drop has seen the US dollar surge by a massive 3,000 tomans, pushing it all the way to an alarming 89,000 tomans. But it doesn't stop there. The euro has reached a staggering 90,100 tomans, while the British pound hit an eye-watering 111,800 tomans. This is nothing short of a disaster for the Iranian economy. Now, why is this happening? Well, it's all tied to the US's so-called maximum pressure policy, which was introduced by former President Donald Trump during his administration. Under this policy, the US imposed a series of devastating sanctions, targeting Iran's oil exports and financial sector. The goal was to cripple Iran's economy and force them to negotiate on their nuclear program, but the impact has been far-reaching, especially in terms of the Iranian currency. As the U.S. Treasury ramped up sanctions, particularly on Iranian oil exporters, it cut off a significant source of revenue for the country. Oil is Iran's primary export, and with these sanctions in place, Iran has been left scrambling to find new ways to keep the economy afloat. As a result, the Iranian rial has lost massive value in recent months, and the local population is feeling the heat. When the currency drops like this, everyday Iranians find themselves struggling with inflated prices and shrinking purchasing power. To put this into perspective, back at the beginning of the current Iranian year on March 21, 2024, the US dollar was sitting at around 61,000 tomans. Fast forward to today, and it's nearly 89,000 tomans. That's a huge difference in a very short amount of time, and it's an indication that the financial pressures on Iran are only getting worse. So what's next for Iran? How long can they sustain this economic turmoil? The truth is, it's hard to say. The collapse of the rial is just the latest sign that Iran's economy is in a state of deep distress. And without any major shifts in policy or international support, it's difficult to see a clear path forward for the country. But this is where things get even more interesting, because just as Iran faces these massive economic pressures, we're also seeing something potentially groundbreaking emerge on the global financial stage: the TIR system. Let's talk about TIR, the new cross-border payment system that has people in the financial world buzzing. Now, for most of us, cross-border payments might not sound like the most exciting topic, but let me tell you, this could be huge. You see, until now, international money transfers have been dominated by a few key players like the SWIFT network, which has been in use for decades. But TIR is aiming to disrupt that by offering a faster, more secure, and more cost-effective way to handle global transactions. So what exactly is TIR? Sammy, one of the financial experts involved with the system, has shared that the first ever international cross-border payments are set to launch using TIR. But here's the key point he's making: TIR cannot operate using the current rate of 1310. Why? Because it's not just a local or regional system. TIR is going international, and for it to be effective on a global scale, it needs to align with real-world exchange rates and market realities. This brings us to the heart of Sammy's message. He's suggesting that the current system, the 1310 rate, is simply too low and outdated to handle the complexity and scale of international payments. If TIR is going to be taken seriously as a global payment system, it has to reflect more realistic market conditions. And with that, Sammy is hinting that we're extremely close to seeing a major change in how cross-border payments work. And here's where Frank weighs in. He's pretty blunt in his assessment. Using the 1310 rate for TIR is a joke. Frank believes that for TIR to truly make an impact on the global stage, the system needs to operate at a rate that aligns with the reality of international trade. His confidence in this change is clear, as he says, "We are as close as your breath is your lungs." In other words, he believes that we are on the verge of something huge, and it's almost here. Now let's connect the dots here. On the one hand, we have Iran's collapsing currency, which is being crushed under the weight of harsh sanctions. On the other hand, we have TIR, a new international payment system that's about to launch, potentially revolutionizing how money flows across borders. And here's the kicker: these two developments could be more intertwined than we realize. As global financial systems like TIR gain traction, we could see a shift in how countries with struggling currencies like Iran interact with the rest of the world's financial markets. Imagine this: if TIR becomes widely adopted, it could level the playing field for countries that have been cut off from traditional financial networks. It could give nations like Iran a way to bypass some of the restrictions imposed by the US and Western countries, offering a way to engage in international trade more freely. But the real question is, Will the world be ready for this shift? And if the IR takes off, how will it affect traditional financial systems like SWIFT, which have dominated the scene for decades? So, what are your thoughts on these developments? Are you concerned about Iran's currency collapse and what it means for the average Iranian citizen? And do you think TIR is really going to revolutionize the way international payments work? Or is it all just hype? Drop your comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts and keep the conversation going. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and give this video a thumbs up if you found it insightful. We've got more content coming your way, so don't miss out on any of these important updates about global finance and international trade. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.